I'm Perky.
I'm Quirky.
And I'm your name.
And this is the Perky and Quirky Podcast. Welcome.
Special episode, first guest.
Yes, welcome, Ronni. Fuck. We have our very good friend Ronni here.
Hello.
And also my roommate. Love.
I'm also in love with Priscilla, so it's just a big.
So
like
you know,
big triangle
just big
of
throuple.
sorts.
I mean, that works for Louis, Harry, and your name.
Your
so,
name, yes.
You know,
Challengers.
I don't know
The challengers between Louis.
if you look in the back. I don't know if you could guess what we're doing this episode. Obviously, the
It's
One
a
Direction.
wonder to me. I've been asking myself that question quite a while now. So we are doing the One Direction episode. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Ever since we came out with the podcast, Ronni, I feel like that one of the first things you said to me about it was, so when are we doing One Direction?
Right.
And Ronni, I think for a long time, we always knew was going to be the first guest. We did.
Yes.
I think because we knew that, hopefully, if all goes right, today is going to be March 25th. And that is the day.
That's D-Day.
That is D-Day. It's not one D-Day, it's D-Day, bitch. And it is because Zayn left One Direction, what, is 2025? So 10 years ago
Whoa.
today.
Whoa.
10 years ago today, Zayn left One Direction.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And
We should get into like where we were when we found out, but we can do that later.
Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be a lot for me to unpack right now. I don't know if I can open that up. So yeah, so let's chat. Let's have a
Yeah.
little chat, shall we, loves?
Yeah.
We should do disclaimers first.
Yes.
Disclaimers first.
Okay, so being, huge One Direction fans, there might be some stuff in terms of fandom that may come up, which includes like ships, probably Larry, and we'll probably say some crazy things about the boys, but that's just because we were like both like really heavy in the fandom.
Right, that's family, right? That's fam right there,
Yeah.
babes.
Like
what to
not
tell
even
you.
like normal stan, like literally obsessed. Literally took over my teenage years. So
I think we should discuss what time. I was 12 or 11 when I got introduced to One Direction. I started watching very early on.
What year did
when I
they
was-
start?
It's 2010.
2010.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was a year after they started. So they had just released What Makes You Beautiful. And I was there for, I don't know if I was there for Up All Night release, but I certainly did buy Up All Night before Take Me Out Home came out. And changed my life, babes. Changed my life. So, how old were you when you started?
I was 11, but it was 2012.
Okay.
Because I remember I got my first iPad.
Oh,
Yes.
iPad baby.
The iPad baby down, and in between reading Perkabeth fan fiction and just playing like stupid little games on it, it's the old YouTube app that looked like an old TV.
Yes, okay, I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that. And
Love.
Then, and I was like, a video came up on the like kind of like I guess homepage. It was like One Direction funny moments, and I was like, yeah, and I remember it was the thumbnail was of Niall. Like they were swimming in a pool and he had like a towel on, and I was like, why is he naked? And so
And you're like, click.
and so I watched that, and then like obviously I watched the video diaries, and I was really charmed. I was
Right.
Okay.
You were
I
chuffed.
was-
You were charmed. You were chuffed.
See, I wasn't a One Direction person at all.
That's why you're your name.
Yeah, that's
right
why I'm
now.
your name. Because I'm
Got
gonna
your
like,
book ready.
yeah, I'm gonna read my book at the concert.
concert.
I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't even want to be here. Everyone's so loud, and I'm
Right.
not like other girls. And then they're
Right.
gonna be like,
Oh my God.
you what?
Your mousy,
My mousy
brown,
messy bun.
And your perky tits.
my
Just count
my
it.
pucky quirky tits.
I need them.
Or I'm either getting
Bring them
sold off,
backstage. Give them a VIP pass. All right.
or I'm getting sold off to One Direction
Right.
by my evil mom, and I
That-
go downstairs and put my hair
I
in a messy
love
bun.
reading those. I love reading those.
That is also why I chose A Court of Thorns and Roses, because I feel like everyone who reads A Court of Thorns and Roses was a Your Name girl at one point.
Yes, absolutely.
Calling y'all's asses out.
Right.
I know you're nasty over
I know
there.
your name.
If you read after and enjoyed it, you need to.
You
go
probably,
therapy.
yeah, and you probably read this.
Absolutely.
But I did have a homophobic, like, friend in middle school who was a huge One Direction person. That's why it's so
They're
funny
either
to
really
me.
homophobic or gay.
Yeah, like
There's no in between.
well, like it was so funny because like she lectured me about how I shouldn't support gay people
Right.
for 3 hours
Yeah.
straight. 3 hours, trapped me in her home basically.
It was me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
you,
that.
yeah, you were. Oh my god! And then we never saw each other until college, and then we became best friends.
Yeah. And then we kissed.
Yeah, and then we kissed. And you're like, I'm not homophobic anymore. I was like, what? Really?
Come backstage. VIP.
Come backstage with me. But she was super homophobic, but her original favorite was Zayn
Yeah.
until she found out he was Muslim or something.
Oh.
And then she stopped wanting to be like. Then she stopped liking him, and then immediately move on to like Harry. I think
Yeah.
it was either Harry or who you are, Louis.
Who you are.
Also, they're dressed up as Louis and Harry. Right
Yes.
Kiss?
I'm Mary.
Yeah.
I'm Mary.
I'm Louis.
You ate that.
I'm scared.
Okay. Yeah, no, because I was a hairy girl, and Ronni was
Like you didn't shave?
full bush,
Show
bush.
Full bush in a bikini.
Yup, with my fed nipple. You know what I mean?
Also
Okay.
Harry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you were a Louis girl.
Huge Louis girl.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Louis
that.
girl.
And the thing about Louis girls, we're kind of jumping all over the place,
That's
and
fine.
we'll get into more structure in a minute. But the thing about Louis girls is that they were all lesbians.
Yep.
Well, to be fair, I was gonna say he looks like a lesbian.
He does.
It does.
Like,
That's why they want him.
yeah.
Right, he like the thing is like Louis was raised by a single mom.
No, really.
Yeah, and he has like literally 5 sisters and 1 brother. Like he's surrounded by women.
Right.
Okay.
And as a lesbian, like I really like he just knows how to act.
Yeah.
Around.
You connected with that. You
I
knew.
did. I
That's
was
so
like-
awesome, actually.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
adorable.
He said I like girls who eat carrots, and I was like,
So he likes some orange, is what I'm hearing. He likes some like bright
Hey, I
orange.
have jaundice. I take offense to that.
Wait, do people ship Louis with?
Carrots?
No, I was gonna say Trump then, because if he really likes.
No, but that's a great crossover.
but you know,
Yeah, Obama.
Obama.
See, I know Obama.
We've discussed.
Yeah, we have crack ships.
Obama is so
talked about
good.
In the
Obama.
Crack Ships episode, I read a fan fiction to Priscilla of us, or Obama, but it was Harry, Louis, and Shrek.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, Joe Biden.
yes, and then Obama and Joe Biden are the sugar daddies of Harry and Louis,
Yeah.
respectively.
And they also said that
Wait, who
Obama.
was-
Oh, sorry. go
Harry
ahead.
was with Obama, Louis was with
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
But they were
Love an
saying
Irish man.
Joe Biden.
Obama couldn't
Joe Biden.
get hard anymore. I was like, you're fucking lying, because
Right.
I know Obama can get that. Like,
Right.
he's dicking it down. Like, don't you dare like talk about
Right.
my man's
And
like
in the
that.
end, they all fucked each other.
Yeah, Shrek, Obama,
Everyone
Harry,
was a part of it.
Joe Biden, Louis.
And then Harry and Louis shared a tender gaze at each other at the very last line of the fan.
It was kind of beautiful.
It was so
Yeah.
gorgeous. I loved it. Okay, so let's get into the meat of this.
Yeah.
Because we've got 5 pieces of meat right on the block right now, on the chopping block. So One Direction.
Quick timeline.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give you guys a quick little timeline for those who are not crazy and did not experience.
If you're like me and we're not,
Right.
I was a hater mainly because she was into it. That's the
Right.
only reason I was a hater, because I was like,
You were kind of normal for the most part in that aspect, in the boy band aspect at least.
I was gonna feel like, yeah, no.
Right. No, there are other parts that we're looking at. We're concerned.
Yeah, don't
but
worry. We'll talk about those later.
This one, we know.
So I'm getting educated here.
darkness.
I'm the student.
Yes.
Y'all are teaching
Right.
me a little bit.
So One Direction were 5 boys who were brought onto
5 boys.
the X Factor, which is UK, which is the UK version. Obviously, is a reality TV show set in the UK of a voice competition.
Okay.
Right?
Only voice.
Was it only voice?
It was only boys.
Yes.
Okay.
Only voice, basically like American Idol for you filthy Americans. And they were competing individually. They did not know each other before
Yeah.
on X Factor. They all kind of sucked in their auditions. Sucked really bad, except for Liam. Liam was the only one who was like really, really good that you could see them progressing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Priscilla.
Okay.
Priscilla,
So
your name in the front.
I'm going to be asking this a few times. I already
Okay.
know that. Mm-hmm. Liam.
The one who's dead.
Cheek filler. Oh, he is.
Cheek filler,
Okay,
yes.
same. Okay.
Yeah,
He's the
dead
one
one.
who died, yeah.
I get him and the Irish one mixed
Niall.
up.
Niall's
Niall.
blonde. Well, he's not actually blonde.
No, he's actually blonde.
As Paul Rudd said,
Yeah.
not natural. You don't know your basic facts. Okay, so yeah, Niall is the blonde one for the majority of the bands.
Because I know one of them is Irish.
Yes, that's Niall.
Happy St.
Yeah.
Patty's Day.
Oh,
Happy St. Patty's
We're
Day.
filming during St.
We're
Patty's.
filming on St. Patty's Day,
Yeah.
but we're filming. This is coming out on D-Day. Remember?
D-Day, yes.
D-Day.
Yes. Okay. So, but we love Niall.
Okay, sorry, but
And-
they were auditioning.
They were auditioning. Liam was
separately.
the only good one. He sang a Justin Timberlake song.
But also he had auditioned before when he
Before,
was 14.
right?
Oh, how old are they during this then?
They all
16?
range.
Like,
Louis the oldest. He's like
he's
18,
18. Harry's the youngest. He's 16.
16. So they range
Oh,
from
okay.
16
Yeah,
to 18.
Harry's the youngest. Louis the oldest.
Right.
And they all fall in between there.
Okay, I was wondering ages with this because I didn't know if they were all the same age or not. Okay,
They
so
range.
we have a range. Cool.
Yes, they're auditioning. They all suck, but Simon Cowell,
No, Nicole Scherzinger.
Nicole Scherzinger, but Simon does make it like his thing that he does
Yeah.
this, but it's not really Simon. Nicole Scherzinger comes up with the idea to put them together as a boy band.
Yeah.
For
Right.
X Factor.
For X
Yes.
Factor, yes. So then they start competing as a band together because they can do that in this.
That's so
Isn't it interesting?
interesting.
I
that,
don't know
like,
if they've done it before. Did they do that with Little Mix?
Little Mix was a year after.
Okay, but
They put them together, yes.
okay? So they can do that with X Factor. They've done that multiple
But that's
times.
just so strange because, like,
Isn't it?
what if the chemistry doesn't work? Which I'm sure happens,
Right.
and we just
With
don't
Fifth
see
Harmony.
it.
Oh,
Wait, is that the one or is
That's
that?
Little
that's
Mix.
Little Mix.
Okay, my bad. I don't know which
Fifth
one.
Harmony
it is.
is Camila Cabello's
It's
start.
X Factor America.
Oh.
US.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's why it didn't work. They weren't
You can
British.
argue even Fifth Harmony worked because they got popular enough for like their name.
But
you
were
know?
they popular from? Were they popular from? Were they
What is that?
popular from their chemistry? Because a
No.
note I wrote down was it seems like the reason why they got popular, like really big, is
Because they're
because
cute.
yeah, it's because of their personalities, and like this was one of the first eras or phases where we were starting to see that from celebrities.
Yes.
Is like their actual personalities and seeing
Yeah.
them as humans. So it feels like that makes sense why they like rose up so quickly as a boy band because teenage girls were latching onto that.
No, that's certainly it because if we had
Like,
shown
as an
you
outsider.
all of the performances, you would have been like, "Oh, they suck ass."
Okay, because while you were showing me some of the stuff, I didn't want to be like,
The performances on X Factor, I don't think a singular one of them are actually definably good except for Torn.
Torn is good.
And that was in a
Oh.
private setting at Simon Cowell's beach house.
yeah, and Louis had just stepped on a sea urchin. He had to go
And
to
they're
the
wearing these
hospital.
fuck ass outfits. Like, oh my god.
I'm thinking about Harry's scarf.
And this was a performance that like everything was on the line, right?
This was before shows. This was
Right.
This
oh,
was like,
so
yeah.
this was like to see if they were
Right.
Yes.
So like they were very
Oh.
stressed about this performance and they did do a good job. Harry was kind of carrying. Liam was kind of
Harry
carrying.
carried.
Harry and Liam. Harry once he
carried.
gets over his nerves kind of does take the forefront. That's why everyone picks him for
Yeah.
like leader. But Liam is honestly like he was the secret hidden like
Best
weapon.
If you
Okay.
listen
And
to
then-
their first album, like 9 times out of 10, the song starts with Liam.
Right. And then Zayn is actually the best singer.
Yeah.
Okay,
out of
because
all
I
of
was
them.
like, I know we're gonna take a quiz.
Yeah.
Can I say who I think I'm gonna get?
Yes.
I think I'm gonna get Zayn, just
Probably.
because he seems very like nonchalant compared to the other guys.
He is.
and I feel like because I was gonna say, okay, no offense to the
He's
boys,
a bad boy from Bradford.
I'm a Bradford bad boy.
they do give like Tumblr
Gay.
comedian of like, I'm just derpy. Like that's what they give a little bit like. it's like
I like girls who
Eat
eat
carrots.
carrots.
Like, what the fuck?
like
you
Kevin! Like
like they're giving so
please.
like I'm just like so random, but like
But remember,
so Tumblr comedian.
we changed the setting up a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, you have to think that was like
No, that was peak comedy at the time.
That was peak comedy. That
Yeah.
was what the girls wanted. They wanted a boy who could be so XD
Like,
random
they
and dick in pants.
like they all gave me
Fork
the
found a
vibe
kitchen.
that they would do that like Tumblr photo set where it's like I've never seen like an ugly girl, and it's like them holding up like the paper and being like,
Yeah,
like
they
like
would
that's
do that.
no, they didn't. Did they actually?
Like backstage photos that I've seen.
They did that.
Yeah, they like took
That's
pictures
pretty funny.
with like written things on paper.
And they would people would edit them and would be like, or it would be the knockoff jokes about the Imagines. I'd be
Oh.
like, who do you think gave you the teeth?
No,
Yeah.
okay, I did see those.
About
I
those, yeah.
loved those.
Or-
Like those are some of my favorite.
Yeah.
Like the teeth one.
Those
I
started
still quote
with
that.
One Direction, absolutely.
They
They
did.
did.
Because it was the hairy teeth one that started it, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Because
The
that
Harry
one
Teeth one was
kills
from
me.
2014.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh, you know that?
Yes, I
Here,
do.
that's sick.
I
Sorry,
know, I
continue.
know. I was on the phone with my friend Mary, and she like was on her Explore page and a picture of Harry, and we were scrolling and just talking shit, and I could name like where the photo was taken and what year. That's how deep I'm in this.
That's crazy.
Yes, like one came up from Orlando 2014, and I was like, I know when that was.
Where it was.
Wait, did you ever go to concerts?
No,
Okay.
No, I didn't
I
either.
wasn't allowed to have merch or anything.
I
Oh.
was.
Oh.
We were poor because I just drove my mom bankrupt from buying American Girl dolls.
Yeah.
The year prior, so could not go. But she did offer for me to go see Ed Sheeran a few years
Oh, and
after that.
He's European, so that's kind of
And
close.
he had written some
Ed
stuff.
Sheeran used to sleep on Harry and Louis' couch.
Yeah, they were besties.
Yeah.
They've
Wait,
al-
is he around
also-
their age?
Yes.
Yes. And he's also written
Oh.
a few things for them.
I don't know why Ed Sheeran has always been like 45 in my brain.
Well, you're right. Yeah.
So like
Right.
the idea of him
Right.
interacting with, in my brain, 16-year-old boys is such a weird concept. But like, yeah, they have aged and are probably
Yeah.
around the same age.
Like when they all moved to London, Harry and Louis lived together.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's where some of the Larry stuff is from.
Larry started like day one X Factor.
Day one.
Not even joking.
Oh.
Because it wasn't in the video we showed, but when they were put together in a band, Louis jumped into Harry's arms and like Harry like carried him off stage.
Right.
It was
And they fucked, and the rest was history.
It was the carrying the bride over the threshold kind of situation.
yeah, and like we can probably watch
Yeah.
more videos and we can get into this, but like
Yeah.
it was
Okay, we got to get back to the timeline though.
So, yeah, sorry.
Basically, they get formed, they get put together, they perform, they're awful, but they're like so charming, so cutesy, so
Yeah.
hot that they're like, even though they're underage, that everyone's like, yes, 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 One Direction.
Gaga.
They end up placing third. They
Yeah.
don't win.
They don't win.
Oh, I didn't know they got that far.
Yes, they got
You
really
wouldn't believe
far.
it.
Yeah, from
You wouldn't believe it.
the small amount of performances they showed me before this, that's a surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That's
they were
crazy.
signed pretty much immediately, I think.
Yeah, and they did the their X Factor single was Forever Young,
Yes.
which they
Forever
have
Young.
said if they ever release the music video for it, that means they've broken up.
Did they ever do it?
No.
Oh.
So they're not broken up.
So they're fucking liars, is what I'm hearing.
No, they're not broken up.
Oh, okay.
They're coming back.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a little broken.
It's been a
This is
decade?
where me and Vannah agree.
Oh, you don't think they're coming back
Can you
together?
hear me?
Interesting.
See, I'm a pessimist. Vannah is an optimist.
Right.
Okay. So like
I'm gonna be at that reunion tour, bitch. Get out the fucking way, you 13-year-olds.
I
I'm
will-
coming for you.
when do you give up hope for this?
When I'm dead? What do you mean?
Okay. Well, what about
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like how like is it?
When all of them have died? Like what?
Okay.
Like literally no.
Oh, like is
never.
it like 20 years? Is it 30 years?
Never.
Is it 40 years?
It's never happening.
Okay.
It's I'm not giving
Is
up
that-
hope.
They never
never-
come back. I will say they did give me like the best 5 years of my life.
Oh, genuinely,
Alright?
I was so
Is
happy.
was it only 5 years?
It was only 5 years. They did
Oh.
5 tours, 5 albums in 5 years. And
Yes.
They also did
Well,
like,
there's 5 of them, so that's kind of
There was 5 of them.
Oh, well, they still were. He was still part of One
but
Direction.
basically
broken.
like they did not have like off days hardly.
Right.
Is the thing.
That's why they hate each other. Let me tell you guys something.
Oh.
The reason that we're going to get a reunion, well, it should have been directly after Liam died, but they were there's a lot of things to talk about here. Their management, they were awful. They were awful.
Fuck modest management.
Fuck modest management royally. They were suppressed in many
Fuck
ways.
Simon Cowell.
Fuck Simon Cowell. And they were not ready to let go of their individual talents and their individual dreams and their hopes and things like that. Once we get on past, everyone does like their own little things, like what they want to do, which we're getting there. I think Harry's going to have a little bit more of a film career. And
all right,
if we can call it that. And then
it's a movie. It's a real movie.
It's a movie that makes you feel like.
Though.
Is that the most recent one that he was in? What is that one?
Yes, it was, because Don't Worry Darling came out before.
Right.
Because that's a serial killer one, right? That he's in.
That's Don't Worry Darling.
Wait, that's a serial killer.
Wait,
I didn't see Don't Worry Darling.
It's not a.
So what's My Policeman?
My Policeman is where he's a gay little policeman, and he marries Emma Corrin, and he has a gay little boyfriend who
is also a policeman.
No, who's an art curator, and he they like engage in
it's when homosexuality was legal.
Right, right, and they are secretly having an affair, but like Emma Corrin is like on to them, and it's very sad.
Okay,
we can't get into that right now.
Okay, but so they get third in X Factor. That's where we're at, I think.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say that I do believe there's gonna be a reunion once everyone has accomplished what they individually want to achieve, and they're probably gonna be old and decrepit, and then Harry and Louis are gonna tell us finally that they were together. And they're going to give us a little kiss on stage, and then we're going to be happy, and we're going to die.
This is reminding me of that Tumblr post where it's like, imagine My Chemical Romance gets back together. Dan and Phil walk on stage with their...
2 out of those 3 things have happened.
Yeah.
So...
What was the third? Oh, yeah. Fall Out Boy and Panic! At the Disco also show up on stage. That's the other thing. Right. But... I don't think they included One Direction in that one. So
Dan and Phil haven't kissed in front of us, but they are basically married. They're married.
Yeah.
Like, they're milking each other?
Yep.
Yes, of course. You ever read the milk fic? Anyways.
Stop.
Oh, I have not read that.
Okay, so they place third. They get signed, and then they have modest management. Boo.
Psycho, modest management.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's wrong with them? Like, what did they do?
They restricted them from doing... A lot of it, to me, that I heard was, like, about their... flamboyantness.
Yes, I have a specific story.
Go ahead. Hit us with it.
So this was one of their first gigs. They performed at a gay bar.
Okay.
I think it's called GAY. But Louis, being the only one who could like drink in the I don't know if it was in the US or not, but I know that he was the only one who was able to drink.
Then it would have been in the UK
because
he was 18.
He got really drunk because he was nervous, and so this is all alleged, by the way.
Trying to make sure we don't get sued.
Fanfic to us right now. And then Louis got sold by One Direction.
But allegedly Simon flew just Louis out to LA and to talk about his behavior because of it, and like
just for drinking. He's 18. He's allowed to drink.
But they were at a gay bar.
Oh.
But I don't know specifically if it was a gay bar.
Just in general, it doesn't matter. As you can clearly see the transition of when like management starts to beat his ass.
Okay.
Like, when they start to take away his spirit and break him a little bit. Because they play it off as boyish and like silly and whatever at first, but then he starts getting the gay rumors thrown at him and gay rumors.
Yeah. Wait, so who do you think
the closet is glass.
Who do you think gets suppressed the most then out of the group?
Louis. 100%.
Okay, so Louis is the one that you think like okay.
Because Louis is I'm literally just about to just accuse him. Sorry. Louis is the most flamboyant of all of them, and although I do believe I personally do believe that all of them were fruity in some form or capacity. Okay. Louis would probably be the most, and then Harry, I think that he is bisexual, so he because he is very much like ladies. He's just a people person. Like he loves everyone. He's a flirt. He's a flirt and he's a slut.
Like
that makes sense.
He didn't like people saying that about him, but I was like,
he was.
What? That he was a flirt.
Yeah.
But people like read way too much into it. He's just a flirty person. Like,
right.
I had a conversation with him. He was acting. I'd be like, bitch, step the fuck back.
Right.
First off.
Okay.
Let's just have a nice rapport.
Right. Let's be silly.
I mean, like,
you smell bad.
I feel like, well, he's British. Sorry. But, like, banter, like, that's, like, a big thing. Like, I feel like that's just gonna come off as flirty to a lot of people, but I'm like, that's just, like, people talking. Like, you should maybe chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they get out of X Factor, they release What Makes You Beautiful.
Okay, that's after X Factor. Okay.
Yes. And then, obviously, people go batshit bananas. Like, instant success, I would say.
Yeah.
Instant. And then they come out with Up All Night, which is their first album. Yes. Banger. Don't care what y'all say. So banger. Good. I played that shit on repeat. Katy Perry on replay. One Direction on replay. Okay? And then they went on tour. They had Up All Night tour. Who was their opener? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I don't remember who was their opener for that either.
They opened for Big Time Rush.
They did. Yep.
Whoa. Yeah. See, I was more on the Big Time Rush side of things. Not like a fan, just like I watched the show. My brother would key then. Oh, bring him on. Well, Big Time Rush episode, we'll have Ronnie's brother.
And then Take Me Home.
Yes.
Take Me Home comes out. Take Me Home, even more of a banger. That's my favorite album. But
least favorite for Ronnie?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
They go on what was that tour called? That was just called Take Me Home, right?
Yeah.
Take Me Home tour. And then as around when I think I'm trying to like also think of other external stuff that's important. That after Take Me Home / on Take Me Home tour.
What about relationships?
Harry and Taylor Swift start dating, quote unquote.
Did Taylor start dating him when he was 17?
They were young, not 17. She was 22, he was 19.
Okay, I heard some people say that he was 17 when they started dating. Okay.
She was 22.
But they only dated for like 3 months.
Oh, so like
supposedly, but if you get on the Haler timelines out there, they were saying they were engaged in a 2-year-long situationship.
Why did they think
because
is there proof?
Taylor bitches are crazy. I'm telling you, as someone who used to be one, like you know
what? I'm glad that
solidarity.
Yeah, I'm glad that you got out of that.
Thank you.
But in terms of relationships,
okay.
So throughout One Direction, Louis dated this woman named Eleanor Calder. The entire time.
Okay.
She got put through the ringer, I will say.
That's rough.
And I still feel really bad for that. But they dated for like 5 years. Zayn was dating Perry from Little Mix. And then they were engaged. And then he broke off the engagement and then left One Direction within like a 5-day time. Liam dated this Danielle, and
Peaser.
and then he dated
Cheryl.
No, it's Sophia.
Sophia,
and then Cheryl Cole.
Okay,
him and Cheryl Cole have a baby.
Okay, so they Liam. This is Liam.
Okay. Niall did not publicly date
anyone.
Okay, I was gonna ask, were there
silent king?
Yeah, because like were there some that
Soft
like
king.
kept their relationships
definitely
private
Niall.
because of situations?
He
like
got
that?
a little more messy after he left One Direction. Cheated on Haley Steinfeld.
Oh my god!
But he's been dating this woman. I cannot remember the name.
I can't either.
But they have been dating like quietly. I want to say for like.
Niall's our most respectful, not slutty boy. Besides the cheating, maybe
he's never
allegedly.
Gotten a tattoo.
Right.
He's like.
Is he like a Christian boy or is he?
He may be Catholic.
Well, he's Irish. So wait, is he Northern Irish or just Irish?
Irish.
Okay, so he's like actually.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the dating timeline. Harry's dated everyone under the sun.
True.
But the important one that like I think even propelled the fame of One Direction even more was him dating Taylor.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And that's why I now believe that it was a PR relationship.
Yeah.
But she did write some songs and he wrote a couple that like was quote unquote about them, including some that mentioned vehicular manslaughter.
Yeah.
Look What You Made Me Do is...
No, that's about Kim Kardashian.
Oh.
Getaway Car is one about...
Kim Kardashian. Which one?
Look What You Made Me Do is about Kim
Oh,
Kardashian.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you meant a Harry song, and I was like...
No, babe.
Yeah.
But Harry did date Kendall Jenner, too.
Wait, why is Look What You Made Me Do about Kim Kardashian?
Because of Kanye West.
Because Kanye West did that music video with, like, the wax figures,
right.
and he did not get any permission to do it, and one of them was Taylor.
Right. And then Kim was, like, trying to be friends with her, and it doesn't matter.
Okay, sorry. But Harry
and Taylor
wrote songs. A couple of Taylors that were supposedly about Harry had mentions of vehicular manslaughter in them. Did Harry kill someone, or is it
we
her
don't
killing
know.
him?
No,
okay.
no. When I say vehicular manslaughter, that was the theory that came up with it. But
okay.
one of the songs,
he's a bad driver.
Right? He's a bad driver. There's several. The main song that we know for a fact, there's no doubt about Harry, is "Style," right?
Oh. Too good.
Fantastic song.
That makes sense.
It's about she mentions headlights in that song. She mentions in Getaway Car. It's a lot about like them driving away
I think I know
in
Getaway
a car
Car.
and
like the bridge
running away.
20 stitches in the
hospital room, and
and
he went to a hospital when they were dating, and he had to get stitches. Okay. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
What album is their relationship? Like when
Taylor dated Harry, Taylor's album that came out was The End of Red into 1989.
Okay, but what about One Direction?
But Getaway Car is on Reputation, so we think she kind of dug in the journals for that one.
Okay.
But Harry's album that would have been, he wrote some songs on Midnight Memories about her.
Okay, because I'm wondering the timeline with this. So that's like their beginning, right? Midnight Memories? So that makes sense.
2013 era, yeah.
That's when they changed their sound.
Right.
From like teeny bop
became to rock.
Yeah.
And
like pop.
Rock is a strong word.
Are they considered rock?
Yeah. At the end, it was leaning more rock, but they're always pop first. Always.
And we know who we thank for that?
Louis Tomlinson. He
He
wrote a lot of the songs. So did Liam.
He wrote more than half of One Direction's discography.
And he wrote the other 51. Sorry.
That's Louis Tomlinson.
Yeah. Like, the thing about Louis is, like, he may not be your favorite member, but he's your favorite member's favorite member.
Right.
He was like, glue in the backbone of that band.
He was. But yeah. Okay, so after Take Me Home, Taylor dating, whatever, we have Midnight Memories. Midnight Memories is really good.
And then 1D Day.
1D Day. 1D Day was very important. It was when they were formed on July 23rd of 2010.
Yes.
And so when they had 1D Day, it was a celebration of that.
Yeah, it was like a full day live stream.
Right, live streamed all day, and most of it is them working out shirtless. So everyone was like, play.
They did like different segments.
That's right.
Like they had duos. The only duo who did not get a segment is Harry and Louis.
We know why.
Yeah. Oh, is that when people think that they broke up?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's management's fault.
It's like Hyde of Larry Stylinson.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, but we gotta.
So that's the timeline. We're like...
Yeah. So 1D Day, very important day. And then we have...
Where We Are Tour. Where 5 Sauce.
There's also a movie. Oh, okay. They have This Is Us. I don't have that movie. I have the tour documentaries. I have The Only Way Is Up and Up All Night Live Tour. But This Is Us was the movie that was released in theaters. And I'm going to insert a picture of me with blurred out faces of my friends and my Harry Styles cardboard cutout that I took with me to the movie theater.
Did you have to buy him a ticket?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Because
he got it free. That's his fucking movie.
Oh, good point. I just thought he was thinking of the seat.
I went behind him and I said, I'm Harry Styles. I want to see this movie. I'm in it.
Like really vulnerable. I have not watched it.
Okay. I haven't watched it either, babe. So you're good.
It's because when it came out, I wasn't in the fandom. Wasn't in the fandom until middle school, which was like right after that.
Was it in elementary school that like?
It was 2013.
Yeah.
I didn't get my first phone until middle school. So
okay, gotcha.
I didn't know there was a fandom, but the reason I haven't watched it since then is because Louis' mom Jay is in it, and I get really hurt about that.
Why?
She died.
She died.
Oh man.
Yeah. Louis has had we all love Louis because Louis had a very tragic life.
When did she pass? Was it during One Direction?
2016.
Oh, so after.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
It was after.
I mean, yeah, no. Sorry, I was answering no to your question and then looking at you.
Yeah.
No,
I remember it was freshman year of high school for me.
Okay.
And I remember finding out about it, and I was sobbing in the van room about it. And everything. She passed away from leukemia, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and she had Louis when she was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So she was young.
She was young, single mother. But then they meet Louis' dad that he considers his dad.
Yeah.
Mark. And then he has 4 sisters. Because of that, it's Lottie, Fizzy, Daisy, and Phoebe.
And 1 brother, right? You said?
Mark and Jay get divorced. And then she meets this guy named Dan, and then that's the twins, Doris and Ernest.
Oh.
And Louis was 21 when the youngest were born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So...
Into One Direction, yeah.
Yeah.
Already.
But,
Yeah.
like...
And Louis, like, sent his X Factor money home.
I was about to say, so he was probably paying for
Yeah.
that treatment.
And then...
He's a good guy.
Yeah. And then he had... His mom died. One of his sisters died.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's a guy, yeah.
And then, obviously, Liam died.
Yeah.
And then one of his other friends died. Louis had a tragic fucking life.
Louis, the oldest out of his siblings?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my God. So he's
Like true Big Brother style.
So now he's almost like a parent figure. To
Basically, yeah.
Because he's...
Yeah.
God, that's rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love Louis.
I understand why people really like Louis. That makes sense.
Like, he exudes such, like, big brother energy.
Yeah.
Like, I know if I gave him a drink, he'd just, be, like, take a sip and be like, and then hold it for me.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
That laugh...
I like
that laugh.
You know the live action Grinch? That really reminded me of when he bites into like the Santa, like he's like like that gave me such a visceral reaction to that.
I get the Louis and the Grinch would key.
No,
I think they would, yeah. They would.
Would they?
No.
I don't know.
Little get a Christmas
I think
scene?
Harry and the Grinch would.
I don't think the Grinch would stoop that
No,
low.
because the
Harry
Harry,
is in love with Christine Baranski.
the Grinch is in love with Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, Tony the Tiger.
Oh, right. Is this a crack ship?
Yes.
Go,
Okay.
we're
That's one of my favorite fan fictions. Go listen to it.
Right. Okay, so let's finish this timeline though.
Yeah,
so
timeline.
we're done with Midnight Memories. They do Where We Are. Then we have 4. 4 is their last album they all do together.
My favorite album.
4 is definitively the best album.
So
Okay.
good.
It
No
is.
skips.
It's the best.
Oh, okay.
No skips.
Like
It's-
that's across the fandom. People think the
No.
fourth is
I mean,
the best.
across the
Oh.
fandom is
But
a
I-
strong word. I think everyone is like so.
They're like, yeah, teeny boppers.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but also nostalgia. Like y'all be honest with yourselves. Take a second and really reflect on the music that you're listening to, and realize which ones would be universally like loved.
Yeah.
And not just you being like, yeah, I heard this when I was when this song came out. I was with my boyfriend and he wrote me a note in algebra class about how no money compares to you. Like,
Is
please
this-
shut the fuck up.
From experience?
No,
Okay. I was like, is this something we're
Bitch, I didn't have a boyfriend in 7th grade. Please. Okay.
Harry
My boyfriend
Styles?
was Dan Howell and Harry Styles. So
You're always choosing
and
the gay ones.
fanfics that I was writing back and forth. Exactly. The fanfics I was writing back and forth to each other because that's what me and my friends did. Okay, so 4 happens. They go on tour again.
Which is the On the Road Again tour.
Right. Considerably losing their sparkle as they're going on, right? So, like, by the time Midnight Memories is done, like, yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Have any of them said if they like country music at all?
Niall does.
Niall does.
Okay, because there are 2 references to country songs for their albums. So, like,
What are you talking about?
On the Road Again. On the Road Again.
Maybe.
And
I don't
then the one
really think
that you
that.
just
I don't
listed
think I don't think they're that smart.
It just seems
I
like
think they're just saying that they're on tour
I was just
again.
like, are they?
But you can sing a lot of songs on 4 with a country accent. It sounds
Right.
fucking
No,
great.
it sounds great.
Well-
Fool's Gold.
British?
Yes.
I met you, used me from the day that we first met.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And Niall does like country. I think he wore like a cowboy hat, but I don't think the other boys were that interested. Like Zayn certainly was.
Okay, because it felt like they were doing nods to country, so I was like,
Maybe like as out of respect, but
Okay.
not really. Okay, so then 4 comes out where we On the Road Again. Then we have D-Day.
this is D-Day now?
Zayn
Already?
March 25th,
Okay.
2015. Zayn leaves One Direction. It's very sudden. No one
He
saw it
left
coming.
tour a couple days before citing
Right.
mental health.
Mental health.
Oh, so the tour was still going.
Yes.
So does that mean? Okay, continue. I'll ask that after.
He posts a statement on their like Facebook or something.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
says that he's leaving to work on individual
mental health
but then very shortly after that, I feel like he started his solo career.
Pillow
So,
Talk.
Oh, I've heard that one.
Yes.
I hate that song.
Wow.
Sorry.
See, live forever.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't like that one.
Okay, so after that happens, the boys kind of reconvene. But once one leaves, it's like they all kind of wanted to leave too. So it was like... Except Louis. Louis wanted... I feel like Liam was kind of trying to stick together too. But like, I feel like Harry was... Everyone was expecting that Harry was going to go first.
Yeah.
And then he didn't. And then after Zayn left, I was like, what the fuck are we even doing? But they still made a banging album as their last one. Made the AM is great.
Has my lesbian anthem on that.
Right.
End of the day.
So did they tour... Okay, so
They toured one more time after that. Yeah, so after Zayn left, they did not do another tour, apparently. I'm stupid and didn't realize that. I will say I did leave the fandom, honestly, a little bit prior to this. Mm-hmm. When you asked me, or you mentioned earlier about, like, do you remember where you were whenever Zayn left the band?
Yeah.
I do remember where I was, but was I as invested as I had been 3 years prior? No, I wasn't. But I think it is important to note where, do you want to reveal that now, where you were?
I do. So I was really in the fandom. I was actually in a group chat on Kik.
Whoa, that's scary.
Kik, yes. I was 13. And this group chat had adults in it. So
no.
Yeah. I did not know internet safety. She did not know me. That has since been rectified. But it had been rumors the last couple days that he was going to leave. He was going to leave One Direction. And one of the adults sent the Facebook post and said, well, he did it. And I had just come back from an anti-bullying assembly at my middle school.
Oh.
And I turned to this girl that we were both kind of One Direction fans, and I was like, so and so, Zayn left One Direction, and we were like, oh my gosh. And then one of the boys in the class like made like a cutting joke, and I was like, that's not very funny.
You guys just came back from a bullying assembly.
Right,
That's
right.
crazy.
And the thing is like that week I was for some reason trying out for my middle school's dance team. So when Zayn left, I was like completely like unmotivated. I didn't want to do it anymore. My mom picked me up from the tryouts, and I like cried all the way home.
No.
Because I did have Twitter at the time. For some reason, I was 13 years old on Twitter.
I think I was like 11 when I started my Twitter.
Yeah, this is when I left Twitter because...
I didn't go on it very often.
Okay.
I left Twitter because I don't know what I did, but someone told me to slit my wrist.
Why did you say what I did?
Low.
You probably didn't do anything. I don't know what I did to make someone tell me to kill myself.
If you're like Zayn, you smoke in the back of the bus, and then they're like, well, they are like, the girls take it on themselves. They're slitting their wrists themselves.
Well, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I meant like I don't know what I tweeted. But
oh, okay. I was like, damn, Ronni.
I don't remember. But I remember I was more upset about people like hurting themselves over the fact that Zayn left One Direction.
Oh, people were.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Like I just mentioned, people were hurting themselves when they found out Louis and Zayn smoke. So
yeah, bitches were crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like smoke cigarettes or smoke
weed.
Brother,
chicken and
chill
jelly.
Out.
And then I like cried all the way home, and then I went into my room, like lights were off. I jumped under my covers and sobbed some more. Like I was never really mad at Zayn for leaving because it was more like he left for his mental health, and I was like, oh well, that makes sense. Like I was upset, obviously, that he did leave, but a lot of people hated him for a long time for it.
I did hear about a lot of people like were tweeting out that they were like, he ruined it kind of thing.
And then Louis and Zayn had beef for a while.
Oh, for leaving?
Yes.
Oh.
It was mainly the beef was with Louis, Harry, and Zayn. Louis and Harry would say some shady shit
Oh.
about Zayn. Like Zayn and Louis got into a Twitter argument, to the point where Zayn was like, "How about you worry about your own shitty life and like I'll live mine," or something like that.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad,
Oh.
and then like
It was messy.
Someone like asked about Zayn, and they were like, "We call him Zebra," all that like weird shit, and then someone was like, "What was the worst part about him leaving?" And Harry was like, "It was a lot of paperwork." Like it, and Harry after he went solo would still like be really shady about Zayn,
but
like,
like,
I was just like, leave him alone. Like
he was pursuing something that like he wanted to do.
right, and like I said, everyone was theorizing that it was going to be Harry who left first anyways.
Yeah.
I think Harry was pissed he didn't do it first.
Like he didn't have the balls to,
Right,
apparently.
exactly.
Like I don't fault Zayn for being like, I've grown out of this.
Right.
And like I want to
he
make
didn't
my
like
own
the music.
stuff.
Well, I don't want to say he didn't like the music, but it wasn't the music that he wanted to make.
Yeah.
Because for each album, they would all write their own songs and everything, and then they would regroup and pick the ones that. And Zayn wrote a couple with the ones that the label did not want to go with because it wasn't the sound that they wanted, and so he just wasn't feeling supported in that environment. You know,
Sounds racist to me, by the way.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Was there a lot of racism within the fandom?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yes.
Especially there was issues with the girlfriends because Liam had Danielle, who was black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Zayn was constantly like
yes,
being attacked because of his
Well, I told you
Yeah.
she literally stopped being a fan of his.
right.
Because,
And he was also
Which, by the way, your friend, stupid.
Well, yeah, I also, like, at one point I was like, One Direction supports gay marriage. Like, you don't, like, throw a hissy fit about that. She's like, yeah, well, they are going to hell for that. And I was like, okay, then, like, what the fuck are we
also,
doing?
They made their stance about gay fans, like, very clear early on. Like, there's a clip of Louis being asked about that, and he was like, oh, yeah, like, we don't discriminate. Like, if the boys like us, the boys like us. If the girls like us, like, you know.
Okay.
Like, I lay down.
That's
my
kind
If
of
that's
like
what you
king
want to
shit.
say, sure, ally.
Oh, she also had a, like, cutout of Louis in her room. So, I don't know.
Give me that.
Yeah, like,
Where's she at? Let me
let's rob the house.
she's married to a Mormon now, so, like, yeah.
The call is coming from inside the house. The call is
Yeah,
coming from inside
so
the house.
not surprised.
I watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I know what goes on. Season 2 comes out soon, y'all. I'm up.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So
where were you?
Who, what?
You didn't say where you were.
So I remember where I was. I was home from school already. I don't know how.
Oh.
Or maybe I was a little late on finding out. Maybe I didn't find out immediately. But it was that day. And I was in my bed. And I remember I was also under my covers.
It was like fourth period for me.
Okay.
It was like one of the last.
I must have found it out a little bit later. So, because I was home.
Ms. Cook's 7th grade for me.
I was name dropping.
Yeah.
I was home and I was in my bed. And I remember I like cried for my mom to come in my room. I was like, Mom! And she ran in.
Oh
She
my
thought someone
God.
fucking died. And then I was like, you know Zayn? And she was like, of course I do, honey. And she was like, he loved One Direction.
But you were already out of the fandom?
I was like halfway out,
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't as in as I had been.
Gotcha.
Right, but I've always been a fan.
But you were still invested.
Yes, of course. And I love those boys. They like, it's the same thing. We could have a whole other conversation about like how we felt when we heard about Liam passing. But like, you leave, but you don't really leave. You know? You're always a part of it.
Like the big thing when Liam passed away was like, there like people who I haven't talked to in years are texting me.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, and
that close.
Like,
yeah.
I met my best friend through the One Direction fandom. Like we've been friends for almost 9 years.
Oh, because of One Direction.
Because of One Direction.
That's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, and another one that I met through the fandom. We had communication been on and off. Like nothing happened. We just got really busy. She reached out to me, and like that kind of rekindled our relationship is because of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
A door closes. A window opens.
Sometimes a chimney.
But that's a thing that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is like the like amazing friendships.
The community.
The community of One Direction fans.
That definitely makes sense because, like, I mean, especially at that age, it makes sense that you guys would be forming, like, really strong bonds that, like, could last for long periods of time. And, like, even though you know, centered your relationship on One Direction, that doesn't mean that you can't bring other things into it.
Right.
Which is, like, that's a beautiful thing. And, like, that's so cool that, like, you know, even with a loss, you guys could still kind of, like, find your way back to each other.
Right.
Yeah, and me and Vannah were together when we found out that Liam passed away. It was because we had just been like there was some stuff surrounding him in the days prior that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Was he did he come out as like a conservative or something?
No.
I forgot what it was.
I mean, you could probably put 2 and 2 together, but I wouldn't say he was conservative. He had conservative ideals, yeah, but like he wasn't like a Trumpy. I mean, he wasn't.
Okay. I thought he was like
he wasn't a Tory.
No, he wasn't. A Tory.
Okay. I thought he had come out as one.
No, this is what happened before. We'll give a very short thing. Allegedly, what happened was he had a girlfriend, or he had a couple of girlfriends and people he was invested with.
Yeah.
And specifically, one of the girlfriends came out and said that he abused her. And her
forced her to get an abortion.
Forced her to get an abortion at home. Like did not.
Oh my god.
Did not let her go to the hospital because he didn't want it getting out that he had gotten her pregnant. And
even though he already had a kid.
Right, he had already had a kid.
Why would it matter?
Because
I don't know.
Like
yeah.
He isn't.
He's just an ass. He was an ass. Like point blank. Unfortunately, he was not a great person towards the end.
He was talking to fans like over Instagram.
Right.
And, like, send him nudes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He had a really bad drug problem.
Yeah.
And that was why whenever they investigated, so you know how he died. He jumped or he fell/jumped off of the balcony in the hotel room, and they went back to his hotel room, and there were a lot of drugs and things happening because he was trying to get clean, but wasn't really working apparently because people were aiding him, like they were like helping him in enabling him, and including I think his fiance were. I mean I would say she was wanting him to get better, but like I don't know.
Not his fiance, girlfriend.
Girlfriend. I thought they were engaged.
Oh, okay. That was the one that came out about. They were engaged.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But yeah, so towards the end of his life, not a great man. However, when a lot of us who are good people who are fans or were fans of One Direction, we hear about this. It's really confusing feelings because we're like, we connect Liam to this part of our lives that were just so influential and like nostalgic and beautiful days, best days of our lives, legitimately. Truly. And so yes, we feel we mourn that part of him. Yeah. We mourn that part that we knew of him. And then, but then we also are like, we see this and hear this other side, and it really was so disappointing. Yeah. Like it was like a part of that died in us as well, you know? So
yeah, like my whole timeline was like, never did I think like at this point I would hear that like a One Direction member died.
Because it's so early.
Yeah. Right.
They're in their 30s, right?
Yes.
So, like, you wouldn't have imagined it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, like, I remember it was a big thing that all of them passed the age of 27.
Right, because the 27 Club.
Like, when Harry turned 28, we were like, yeah, we're out of the home free. Like, this is great.
But then, how old was Liam when he passed?
32? 3?
31?
I feel like he was...
No, Louis
32.
How old is... Hold on. Louis turns 34 this year.
Right.
Because he was born
Liam was only a year younger than him, I think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Still
yeah.
very young.
And I genuinely do feel, I think it's hard to... I think that he could have gotten better. Obviously, he can't make up for those awful, awful things that he did.
Yeah.
But I think he was on the path to recovery, so it really, really hurt when we got that news.
Yeah. And I was, like, upset, but, it didn't hit me until, like, 2 days later when I read this article about how Zayn was, like, him and Liam were not good when Liam passed away. So and he was apparently really upset that Liam passed away when they were not in a good spot. And he it was just, and I remember reading that, and I was with Vannah, and I was like sobbing in the car. Like we were going into like a Dollar General, and I was like sobbing.
Right.
And I got like a little plushie because
I was about to say you probably got yourself something nice.
I
though.
did. I got a little elephant plushie.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, but it was like it hit like. And then, like, they started posting about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, seeing the effect that it had.
Yeah, like, it was Louis, and then it was... Niall was the last one. I think it was Louis, Zayn,
and then
Harry, and then Niall. And Zayn posted this sweet, like, heartfelt, like, statement. And it was one of my favorite pictures of him and Liam. And it's when they're super young. And they're in the back of the car, and they're both, like, sleeping on each other.
So sweet.
It was so sweet.
That's
and,
beautiful.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
and then at the time, Louis and Zayn also still weren't on good terms, or they hadn't publicly rekindled.
Yeah.
And so then they're going to the funeral together. Everyone's going to the funeral together, and we're like, we don't. And obviously, they should not have taken pictures of them, but they did.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a public funeral, I assume.
No.
I thought they did some kind of live stream or something though.
They did, but it wasn't. It was like people walking in. It wasn't of the service.
Right. Nothing of the service.
And it was purely like it was Liam's family like being like for the fans. Like Liam's dad, when he went to go retrieve Liam from where he passed away, he like talked to the fans and was like, "Thank you so much. Like this like means so much to me." And he was looking at the memorial they put out for him, and yeah, like it was a lot. And I feel like a lot of fans were like, given how I know One Direction fans are, their response to all of this was
way more respectful than they have been.
I was gonna ask that. Like, so no one was prying or like not as
besides
much as you would
the pictures
assume.
thing, I don't think anyone was acting crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
This time.
The thing is like we found out about Liam passing away through TMZ because TMZ posted a picture of, it wasn't of everything, but it was of his body on the ground, and it was
my god,
it was on his arm, and they had, and they like, and people were like, why would you post this? Like, this is absolutely inappropriate.
Right.
That's disgusting.
It is. And TMZ did the same thing with
Matthew Perry?
Not Matthew Perry.
I know who you're talking about.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, yeah. They were the first ones to...
And his family did not know yet.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's just...
It's
parasocial...
It's disgusting.
Buffoonery, absolutely.
Have you guys seen Nightcrawler?
No.
I've seen bits and pieces of it now.
Like, that's what that's reminding me of a little bit. Like, that's really disgusting. Yeah. Exploiting people's, like, death. It's, like, it doesn't matter that they're famous. They're still a person that just passed. Like, oh, God. Yeah,
so really heart-wrenching thing that happened. And, yeah, but the boys rekindled at the funeral. They rekindled again privately.
Yeah, Louis went to
Zayn's concert.
Like, when he was on tour.
Oh, okay.
Which was really big. Everyone, like, we were so happy about that.
Yeah.
And he, like, made Zayn, like, pointed him out and said, Louis here tonight.
Yeah. It was really sweet.
It was really cute.
That's cute.
And then, and I was hoping that they would reunite at the Brits and perform, but in honor of Liam, but okay.
Give them some time. They're in mourning.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, reunion tour will be lit boots, and they're gonna sing "Walking in the Wind," and we're gonna be sobbing, and it's gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna be so.
And I will be elbowing 12-year-olds.
Right? No, we're getting to the front. We're getting to the front. So for our last little segment of this episode, because surprise if you got this far, we're gonna split this into 2 parts.
So this is part 1.
So this is part 1, because we just have so much to talk about. And this made me and Ronnie's life. Like, this is what made me into the person that I am. So, we're going to talk about Larry Stylinson a little bit. So, you should...
Weird pivot, I know.
Weird pivot,
yeah, for like the last 10
necessary.
Necessary.
So, this is a bulk of my One Direction knowledge.
Right. And not mine, because I was homophobic. I didn't know that I was gay.
That's why you're homophobic.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, those boys can't be with each other.
Because I can't be with a girl.
One of them has to be with me, and it's going to be that one. Let me tell you.
Not the old twink. So, This is my resume this is how I can talk about this.
Job interview.
My job interview.
Hey, Louis Tomlinson, if you're looking for an assistant, we got you one right here. Don't they look qualified? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I was never, I never wanted to be with any of them.
Oh, okay.
Ever. I was never being like, I'm gonna marry him, and da-da-da-da. Oh, for preface, I am a lesbian. Obviously, I'm a Louis girl. Two, I literally had a One Direction fan account on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
That amassed 50,000 followers.
Look at you.
And it was Larry centric.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I won't say the name. But it was very, very hot. It was fun. And I ended up talking to, two of Louis' sisters at one point.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was doing...
They were looking at Larry's stuff?
Yes.
Are you sure that it was his sisters and not...
Yes, because I was doing a Instagram Live, and she came on there and, commented and was watching.
I'd be like, girl, why are you looking at me shipping your brother?
How old was she at that point?
I want to say...
This is Lottie?
No, it wasn't Lottie, it was Daisy. She's 3 years younger than me.
Okay.
So I want to say maybe 12.
I mean, honestly, if my brother was a global superstar and I was 12 years old and had access to the internet, I would think that was funny as fuck. I would lock in.
So you do it as a bit?
Yes,
okay.
Of course. But I would know the truth. And that would be the funny part.
I will say,
I would laugh in their face. Ah!
I will say, no, and they did. Rightfully so. But I...
Okay.
Yeah,
calm down.
She's gotta go.
But this is a bulk of my knowledge. So I started being a Larry when, after I saw the One Direction Funny Moments, I saw a Larry compilation, and I said, what's Larry? And I may have been 12.
Oh, okay.
And then I promptly learned about gay people.
Learned.
Yeah. Because, my parents they're not conservatives by any means.
Yeah.
But they don't really talk about that stuff.
Gotcha.
So, also, being in the South,
you
don't really have access to that. So, that was my introduction into queer media.
Okay.
Queer media.
Holding space for that.
But I was very much in the trenches, I know a lot about Larry. So any questions y'all have, I can probably answer.
I will say, you guys mentioned that, all the Louis fans turned out to be lesbians. It's because he looks like a fucking lesbian.
Yeah,
he looks
exactly.
like a, Tumblr lesbian.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. So true. And also...
And still does.
It still does.
Brandy Carlisle? They're twins.
Right.
They're literally born again twins.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, but...
Wait, prompt me.
Okay, so... Oh, I'll prompt you.
Okay.
What is your, bona fide, absolutely, 100%, this is proof Larry existed? God. Give it for the people.
Let me go through my Rolodex of...
Right.
Well, they lived together at Princess
They
Park.
did.
Okay, they were roommates.
Yes.
They were roommates.
They reference, or Louis has referenced Princess Park in songs
multiple
times. And during solo career.
That's where they lived.
That's where they lived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there was this one instance on the Where We Are tour where there's this picture of Louis standing outside the tour bus, and he has scratches down his back. And earlier that day, Harry was on the bus, and there was a handprint on it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also the bar video.
Oh, the Wellington.
Yup.
Yeah. Wellington, that one's good. I can't even remember.
What's happening in that
It
one?
was when...
They're at the bar, and they're being, really flirty. And
Right. Was that the one with Taylor there, right?
No.
No, okay. There was another one where Taylor was there, and... Yeah, I don't really actually remember what happens in that one. I just remember Taylor's in there. But then there's the one that you showed us prior to this Tell us what you thought about that. The one with the butt up the finger up the butt.
So,
context.
Yeah.
The video is them doing an interview. I don't know with who. And it's all 5 of the boys and Louis and Harry sitting next to each other. This is like up all night, probably.
It was probably like
up between up all night, take me home.
Yeah.
And Louis not even checked into the conversation at all.
Like Zane refers to him and he's like,
he's just smiling and nodding. And then he gets the idea slowly but surely to should you do it to me right now?
Yeah.
Let's reenact it. There's a reason why this podcast is part video.
Here, I'll describe it as y'all are going. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll narrate. All right, Louis. So, Louis, you know, we were talking about and then Louis reaches over, kind of caresses down, and like it looks like he puts his finger up Harry's butt. And then to me, Harry looks like a puppet that's coming to life. Because he raises up and his eyes go wide, and it looks like the hand has just gone into the puppet and is now like starting to get animated, and like he literally like gets like taller and straighter.
and then assuming Louis stops and he just slumps back down.
Yeah, he like just
and then
like
they just keep going.
and like no one addresses it.
I think Niall giggles a little bit as he always does.
Also, I was gonna say this. Niall's laugh
So cute.
sounds like a hyena.
So cute. I repeat my
I think
statement.
hyenas are cute. I didn't say
love
it was a bad
Niall.
thing. I was just
He's
saying
so
he's always like
precious.
in the back, and I'm like, all right,
genuinely,
Niall.
That,
All right.
See, Niall's often referred to as the captain of the ship.
Yes.
Why?
Because he's the captain of Larry Stylinson.
captain of Larry
He was the
Stylinson.
#1 supporter.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a
Get.
video of where he goes, "Y'all are so cute," and it's like Harry and Louis are just hanging off of each other.
You two are so cute. Thanks. You are quite cute. I think it's the one.
That's pretty cute.
But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that video. I love
Too
the
good,
one
too
where he like attacks him on the couch.
kiss me, you fool.
Right. And then there's the one where he says that Louis Tomlinson is his first
First
crush.
Yeah.
There was one I saw like where they were back and forth comparing each other to celebrities. Susan Boyle, and then what was Harry's?
Susan Boyle.
I don't remember.
Susan Boyle was a guest on X Factor.
She
No,
won
I know-
X
I
Factor.
know-
She won X Factor.
I know
She
who
was like,
Susan
"I
Boyle
dreamed the
is."
dreams
Yeah.
time
But
And then
he comes-
so Harry, because her and Harry have similar hair.
Oh,
Like
okay. I
curly
was
hair.
like, what aspect is he comparing
The
Harry?
hair.
Okay, that makes a lot more
And
sense.
so someone says, or Louis makes a joke about how he has a crush on Susan Boyle,
Yeah.
and then Harry had said something prior about how he looked like Susan Boyle or something like that. And then the same thing happened with Louis. Louis had a celebrity comparison, and then Harry says he has a crush on that celebrity.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they're talking in hidden fucking code for like the first like 2 or 3 years of interviews.
Yeah.
okay.
And it's just insane. It's insane.
How far apart are those
Insane.
interviews though?
What do you mean?
Because like, are they like close in time so that
Some
they
of
would
them,
remember?
no.
Okay.
No.
Some of them are close, but some of no, like it's like 2 to 3 years until
Okay.
like I would
2013 is when they started.
the
like,
sparkle starts fading, as I
Yeah.
said.
So what is the fandom's consensus on like why they
Broke up.
broke up?
I'm gonna let you take this one.
So I have a theory.
Okay, hit me.
This is not a consensus.
This is
Okay,
this
not
is
a
my own
consensus.
theory. Also, I want to say like
they are
I-
not together.
they're not together
anymore.
any.
Vanna.
This
We
is-
are not shipping
we're
real
not
people.
shipping real people.
Yeah, these.
We're grown ups.
This was important to the fandom
Yeah.
at
Right.
the time.
At the time, this is how I got into queer media.
Yes,
Unfortunately, but yeah.
that's how it worked.
That's how that's when you're in the South, that's really how it works.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
But if they were together,
Okay.
I think that they broke up towards the beginning of the On the Road Again tour.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So you think 4?
Yeah.
That was after 4.
Yeah, there was just stuff that happened. Like, Harry started hanging out with this guy named Xander. Louis was obviously with Eleanor.
Yeah.
Again,
Obvious.
so sorry, girl.
Sorry, queen.
We treated you so badly.
Right.
Wait, I thought Louis was with her for all 5 years.
He was.
He was.
So, do people think he cheated on Eleanor, or that they had an open relationship?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I think
What's your?
There was a large part that said they were beards for each other.
Oh, so they think
That was a
lavender
lavender
marriage.
marriage.
But they got married and have a child now, don't they?
They're not
No.
married. They're
Oh,
not
okay.
together. Louis had a baby with this random girl.
Yeah, we're not getting into her.
We're truly not.
No.
Oh.
We don't know. Who is he with now?
No one.
No one. He's single.
Oh, he's single dad. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's raising the baby, but he's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, doesn't
Sorry.
matter.
When he had the baby, that's when I was like,
I saw a lot of posts about Eleanor being his beard and vice versa.
Okay, so
And I'd believe it.
Okay, so lavender relationship.
Yes, for 5 years, quote.
Okay.
And yeah, and then supposedly Harry, but then Harry also had some things. You know, he had the PR relationship with Taylor. He was dating.
I want to say Louis was in a relationship with someone while he was on the X Factor.
Who?
I can't remember her name, but he was. It was someone
Wow.
back home on
Wow,
X Factor.
okay.
Yeah. So
Was it Christabel O'Reilly?
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
We're gonna leave that one to okay.
I can't remember her name.
It doesn't matter. Anyways, you don't have to
Yeah,
know
I was
that.
like, I don't know who that is.
That's for the 1D'ers out there. Got their dick wet a little bit. Okay. Their one dick wet.
Wait, but did you say why you thought they broke up?
Oh, I didn't say why because I don't know, but I think.
But
that
what's
they-
your
This is the
theory?
theory.
I think that I think they broke up at the beginning of On the Road Again tour, and then like they slowly because they were not interacting at all,
Oh.
at all,
Not even on, like...
not on stage, nothing. But
Interesting,
then towards
okay.
the end of it, they started interacting again, and there's this one clip of it's like Harry taking a picture of Louis. It's really sweet. But I did recently see this video of them after the X Factor performance, and Louis like changing, and like Harry gives him the driest hug ever. Yeah.
So do you think they're chill now? Or...
Yeah, I hope so.
Ish, yeah.
Okay.
I
In a
hope
way
so.
that you can be with your ex-boyfriend.
Alleged
I'm
ex-boyfriend.
going to tell you what I think, but I have no evidence to support this whatsoever. I feel like they started drifting away during Midnight Memories, towards the end of Midnight Memories, into 4 era.
Okay.
And they started drifting away as in, like, I feel like there was some other people who were distracting them.
Mm-hmm.
And then something really big happened that caused that fallout that you're talking about.
Yeah, but there is songs on like 18 on 4. Come on now, mama.
But that can be written about someone who you previously loved.
Yeah, well, Ed Sheeran wrote that. Ed Sheeran wrote
Exactly.
Ed Sheeran wrote it.
Ed Sheeran was also
So was
a
he
Larry
like the-
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
Is he like the sixth member almost?
Ed Sheeran-
Like a quiet
Basically,
one?
yeah.
Ed Sheeran
Oh.
was like lived. I said this earlier, but was on like literally lived with them.
Yeah.
And he wrote Moments, which was one of their
Little
first
things.
Little Things.
Oh, he wrote Little Things. I know that
Things
one.
he wrote 18.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a song that he wrote, Photograph.
Yeah.
That people speculate is
With
about
Val
Larry.
Louis.
Did
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran ever do a cover of 18?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
He might have done a cover of Moments though.
Okay.
That's ringing a bell for
Because
me.
the voice sometimes sounds like Ed
Yeah.
Sheeran.
He
in
may have done the
Little
demo
Things.
for it. And they
Could have
mixed
been,
it in.
yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Because like I know the song Little Things.
Right.
Not Little Things. 18.
18's everything.
He has sung Little Things.
He has
sung
sung
it with
Little Things.
Niall, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Because
right.
I have
You're
heard
right.
that one too.
Yeah, he sung it out with Niall.
Yeah.
Twins. Okay. Final notes on Larry. Final notes
Yeah,
for the
before-
episode before we wrap up on this one.
I like my like. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like Harry. I don't.
Yeah.
Big reveal, you guys.
Big reveal. I don't particularly like him at all.
Now.
He's literally right
But
here.
we
Why
love
would
we
you
love
say
Twink
that?
Carrie.
Like I've said before that I would like literally fight him in a parking lot barefoot.
He's gonna see this and he's gonna fight you.
Good.
He's gonna be like,
He would love
this
this.
Denny's.
He loves attention. He would love it.
Yeah. I would love to have a sit down dialogue with him.
So, why do you dislike him? Or should we keep that for the next episode?
I don't know if I want to get into that.
Oh, okay.
You know why?
I know why. If you do digging, you can understand why. There's
I'll
some.
tell you later.
Yeah.
Okay. Off camera.
And if you want to know, comments below.
Yes.
That's our
Why
rule.
do you not like Harry
Right.
Styles?
Comments below.
But I will say the reason I stopped liking him is not valid now, and I like that. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
But
You're also allowed to just not like people.
Exactly.
yeah,
It's fine.
But
Or
I,
the
like,
person that they
unstand him.
become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I unstand him. Like the Larry account that I had became solely for Louis. Like it was
Right.
a breakup. People got mad at me on that account for doing that. Yes. Oh my gosh. Like I remember I posted a video when Liam passed away, and multiple people commented like, "I've seen you before. Like, why do I know you?" And I was like, I had a.
You look like a long lost friend from Papa's Orchard.
And I was like, so about that. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't say I was the most popular fan account, but for some reason I posted my face on that fan account.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Internet Safety, again, did not know her. We did not know each other.
You should be happy that you were not kidnapped by One Direction.
I would have loved that.
No, like, they would have ate that shit up.
I would love that.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into that first episode about our boys. The boys.
And we'll be back.
And we will be back next spawn for another one. Maybe a reunion, if you will.
Oh? Alright, so...
Oh, wait. I'm Perky. Oh, no, sorry. I gotta do it in a British accent. I apologize. I'm Perky.
I'm Quirky.
And I'm your name.
And that was the
Perky and
Quirky
Quirky Podcast.